That's cool.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Charm City Heavyweights podcast, brought to you by the great folks at Great Eight Sports Memorabilia. Thank you for bearing with us for a little bit of a uh, user malfunction with the new intro video. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my man, Josh Merrill. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Matt? Coming live from the Man Cave, and I would like to welcome everybody to the Man Cave. We're going to sit and talk some Maryland sports for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to our friend Evan, who made the new intro video for us, and
Yeah,
for
thank you, man.
Adam, and to our producer Adam for making the new background for the show and making the video work on the second go round. So let's get right to it, buddy. We got a little bit to talk about, after the delay. Um, I guess no news is good news on the Lamar Jackson front lately. We haven't really been hearing a whole lot this week in the local
No, it's been
media.
quiet. It's been real
Been very
quiet. It's
been very quiet.
maybe if for people who want Lamar back, it may be a good thing.
Yeah, it could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what side of the fence you're on. I totally believe that they're really trying to figure out what to do because the combine and the draft is just a little over 2 months away
We're going to know
altogether.
really quick. We're going to know really quick. It's only going to be a couple ways. They're either going to franchise tag. Well, we know they're going to franchise tag them, but they're either going to ride with that and say, "All right, we'll try to do your contract next year." Uh, they could go a few, or they could trade him. But I think we're going to know soon. So if we franchise him and nothing happens, um, as we get closer to the draft, I think that's the plan. They're just going to ride with him and figure it out next year. But that's going to suck. Lamar's not going to, if that happens, he's not going to participate in any off-season activities. This dark cloud would loom. Like, I don't want that to happen, man. Please. Like, I want this to be over one way or another. Like, I'd be happy if we signed him, honestly, just because it's over.
Yeah,
I'll be happy if we say we traded him just because it's over. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's all anyone talks about. I was enjoying the damn Pro Bowl games last night, the accuracy and all the stuff they were doing. And, like, every Ravens player interviewed, that's what they – what do you think about the Lamar Jackson? I'm like, God, give it a fucking break.
right. I got an alert while I was on my way home today where
I
Bleacher
lose my
Report,
breath every time I get an alert.
yeah, where Bleacher Report said that we were going to franchise Lamar, and then that they were expecting it to be a standoff, and nobody wants to hear that mess. Nobody wants to hear that at all. I don't believe that. Um,
I think
we
the Ravens won it over, man.
I think everybody does. We do. And it really is gonna be a huge moment when we figure out what's going to go on. Because there's been some numbers being tossed around for his possible extension, and I've seen 5 years, 260 million with 210 guaranteed, and I still don't think that's going to get it done. Even though it's a lucrative amount of money, I don't believe it's going to get it done, though,
If
buddy.
that's what the deal was, that wouldn't kill me. I mean, I'd be like, damn, but I wouldn't be too mad. That's
I
fair.
think
That's a fair fucking
I
deal, man.
I think that he wants to exceed the guaranteed money from Deshaun Watson, and the only way I can see them doing that and making sense of it is to go above 5 years.
Yeah.
You could do a 7-year deal and guarantee 250 million, but you got to put it on a $300 million contract.
Yeah.
Or
Now, if
a
Lamar toughed this injury out,
325 million.
don't you think if I'm just saying, if Lamar toughed this injury out, don't you think it'll be a little bit easier, regardless if it was the same outcome? He made one mistake, and I know that would be another playoff loss for him. But you think the Ravens would at least it'd be easier to throw that much money at him? You think the fact that it's pretty much leaked now
No
that he
doubt.
quit on the team? I mean, that's gotta make
No
Bisciotti,
doubt.
it's
No
his
doubt in my
team,
mind.
dude. We can say whatever we want. He's the one that's his fucking money. At the end of the day, it's his money. And we have no right
Yeah,
to tell him how to
you're right.
spend it. It's his team, his money. He is everything
I
when it
I
comes to
agree
the
with
Ravens.
you. I totally agree, and it's really it's really a glaring issue when the general manager and the head coach are so over talking about it, and I really want a resolution because our entire offseason is going to be predicated around either trading him or signing him to a long-term extension.
Oh,
And
dude, can you
we have
imagine going through
27.
this for a whole nother season?
I couldn't do it, because it loomed large over the entire organization and the team.
All
It
everyone has talked
showed,
about for 2 years.
but it showed this year. And Lamar's play fell off. He got hurt again. The team blew a lot of games, and at the forefront of every single post game show, post game press conference at the castle at practice, Lamar Jackson's contract. It got to the point where they had to pretty much say no Lamar questions, and I just just rip the band. If you're going to trade him, rip the
Let's
band-aid
just
off.
do it so we know
Rip it
which
off.
way we're going, man. Because if we
And
trade him,
it
I
doesn't.
look at the draft completely different, dude.
So do
If
I.
we trade him, I look
In
at it
the
different.
I kind of wanted to bring up a couple of the trade proposals that I saw, where
I've been seeing
one of
Atlanta, a
them
lot of
more.
Atlanta.
I've been seeing the Falcons an awful lot, and what I've been seeing is a variation of 3 first-round picks, and then I've seen either Ritter and AJ Terrell, or AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett in a second, or those 3 and 3 first-rounders. That's a steep price for the Falcons, but honestly, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, do you say no? Do you say no to
Man,
that?
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
If
Yeah,
Arthur
I don't know
Blank
how you can
if
say no to
Arthur
that.
if Arthur Blank comes to Steve Bisciotti and Eric DaCosta and says, "We'll give you Desmond Ritter, who's on a rookie contract. We'll give you Grady Jarrett, who's probably going to replace Calais Campbell, and then we'll give you AJ Terrell, who's going to probably replace Marcus Peters, and 3 first-round picks." I don't think they say no.
You have to
I
take
think
it.
that
Be a fool not
you
to.
have to. You have to. There's no way you don't take this trade. Hypothetically speaking, another one that I've seen thrown around is Lamar going to the New York Jets. Um, Lamar going to the New Orleans Saints, where they flipped that first round pick from Denver to us in the deal, along with a couple others, and Marshawn Lattimore. So I want this to be over. If you're going to give Lamar this boatload of money, you got to figure out in the draft what you're going to do, because if you draft Lamar, if you
It's two
sign
different
Lamar
drafts,
to a
man.
long-term
It's
deal,
two different
if
things.
you
It's
sign
two different
Lamar
drafts.
in the first 2 rounds, the Ravens have to take a wide receiver.
Got to.
They got to, which
I don't want to hear that
I
best player available shit this year, Eric. Go get the best fucking receiver available.
you got
And
to. You
steal
really have to.
Pittsburgh's. Somebody sneak into Pittsburgh's headquarters, find their draft board, and just take a little picture on your phone of their receiver section and go off of their board, because they can find receivers with ease. And man, we
And
can't
we
draft a
can't.
fucking receiver if our life depended on it. We just can't. We drafted well in I think every position almost except wide receiver. It's
I
nuts. It's nuts, and it's embarrassing.
it's a like you said, it's a completely different
Travis
draft.
Taylor.
If let's not get started with that.
I was excited as a son of a bitch about him.
Well,
Dude
we were
had it
also
all. I
like
thought he was Randy Moss. I
12,
thought he was going
so
to be Randy Moss. Man, I thought he was going to be Randy Moss.
but if we don't trade, if we do trade Lamar, like you said, it's a completely different draft. Do you take one of these quarterbacks
Then you go
early?
best play. Fuck no. Fuck no. You
You
save a first for
you
next
go
year.
best play. You go best player at 8, but then if you keep 22, you can trade back and get more picks. You can
Give
trade
you
back.
more picks or go after a higher end pass rusher
Yeah, I
or a
I
higher end wide receiver and
I
start preparing for
I
this
saw
franchise quarterback you're going to go after. Or fucking Ritter may surprise you, man. That dude,
to
he wasn't terrible.
he wasn't. He actually played decently against us. I'm not gonna take that away from him. I thought that he played a pretty good game against us.
He did.
And I saw his link to the Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson, but the thing is, he's
I saw
a
that
dual
too.
threat type too.
You never
So
know.
he might
If
have
they go
thrived
after a
under the Greg
quarterback
Roman offense,
now,
but
if we trade him and they go after quarterback this year, it better be a quarterback you love. And I do want to get something out there to people saying, okay, for the guys wanting to cut Lamar, trade Lamar, then we're going to suck for 5 years. No, we're not. First of all, the defense is basically set for a while. We still got a few more years out of this defense.
at
We're going
least
to have a
three.
good defense. So we're going to be in games now. The
I,
Ravens will find some pass rushers. I truly believe they're going to get somebody. Uh, and don't say it's not. It's not going to be that long. I'm telling you, we're going to get heavily compensated. You know, and who knows? They may find a quarterback this year. Maybe dead wrong. Maybe it's somebody they love. You
I
never know.
one
But
domino that
it's
I
got
think
to be somebody you love.
you're right, and one domino I think that's going to fall. You trade Lamar Jackson, I can guarantee with almost certainty, Mark Andrews asks for a trade.
You might.
There's
I
no
don't know,
might. There's
man.
no might. I truly believe.
I don't know.
I truly believe because Andrews is 100% for Lamar, and if Lamar gets traded, Andrews could simply say, trade me to some place that I can be utilized because he obviously the Andrews play with Lamar on the field and without Lamar on the field, he's a totally different player.
Yeah.
Even though in the playoff game Huntley found him often, the games where Lamar has missed over the years, Andrews hasn't shown up for nearly any of them, and I think
I
there's a
disagree
correlation,
with you.
and that's fine. I respect it, but I think that Andrews would ask for a trade in a heartbeat if it meant Lamar gets traded. I think you would end up having to probably
No,
get
that's a lot
you
of
would probably
money off
get a
a cat.
right, but you would probably
That's
get
a
a pretty
lot of
penny.
money off the cat.
But the thing is, worst case scenario, we have Likely and Kohler.
Exactly. Kohler looked good, man. That pissed me off. He didn't
Yeah,
play in the playoff game.
you have Likely, you have Kohler. I'm cool with that. And
Man, shit.
then you go spend that money that you would spend on those guys and go get a bona fide number one, either through trade or through the
Bonafide.
draft. I'm talking like
Bonafide.
I would flip one of those draft picks to the Colts and see if they give us Michael Pittman.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's under control for a couple of years. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Hey, Matt, not to change subject, but did you hear the rumor that today that the Ravens have made a few offensive coordinator offers and been turned down? So now the interview process is really going heavy internal, promoting somebody.
Oh man, I did not hear that. I
Yeah,
saw that we
Lock
had
was
three.
kind of slurring it today on the radio, and I saw a couple
Well,
links on Twitter.
Is gonna do what he wants to do in terms of putting it out there. And the thing is, he's nationally connected. So I even though I take it with a grain of salt, he is connected. So that does worry me. I saw today that we were linked again to Munkin, Canales from the Seahawks, the quarterbacks coach. I didn't see Zach Robinson in there, and he's the guy I've been wanting. And then I saw his link to Byron Leftwich today. I wouldn't be mad at Byron if it came down to it. But the longer this goes on, I have a feeling it's going to be Urban or T. Martin because they're just taking way too long. Other teams are hiring entire staffs while we are still in the process of hiring an offensive coordinator. And I know they're doing their due diligence, but I truly believe that there's something funny going on. And if it's Urban or T. Martin, there's going to be an uproar because there's going to be no change. It's still going to be a run heavy offense. It's still going to be a tight end heavy offense. You got to bring something innovative here. If you want to move this offense to the next level, you got to be innovative in the passing game. We already got a very intricate running game. We got probably one of the best running games in football. You need to match that with the passing game, and it can't be a JV offense with a All Pro. I mean, a JV passing game with an All Pro running game. They don't mix, so
No.
it's going to be hard. It's going to be a difficult sell to this fan base if you don't make at least an outside hire. And and honestly, I see them going with T. Martin before Urban, even though T. Martin's largely unproven in terms of play calling ability.
Yeah. Who knows, man? I don't want that to happen. God, that's our worst fear. That's what we didn't want. And
Yeah,
something new. I don't want a Roman protege. But I do want to give a shout out to Lamar Huntley, man. Tyler Huntley. Dude was on fire in the accuracy competition.
I saw he looked good. He
Yeah, he did.
definitely. I
He
saw that he
started
did
off
look really
slow. I
good.
was like, oh, man. I started getting a knot in my stomach, like embarrassed for him because he started off kind of rough, but he got hot, bro. He was hitting everything. Hit the damn drone.
I think that this. I think that this Pro Bowl setup.
I like it, man.
I like.
I'm glad they're doing it again.
It's gonna take a little bit of time for people to get used to it, but I really like it.
It's cool. It's different.
It is.
I
It
like how
really
it's
is.
spread out. Like watching Roquan catching punts. Like that was fun to me. Like Pat Ricard catching punts.
Yeah.
Tucker was out there running his mouth. It was cool, man.
The driving competition was pretty cool. Also,
That was. Marlon hit a bomb.
I think he hit a 300-yard drive.
Yeah, he nailed it, bro.
It was about 285 in the air, and it bounced another 15 or 16 yards.
Yeah,
And
Marlon Humphrey's a
Tucker's,
good dude.
yeah, he's definitely showing his personality. I think they're
Yeah,
doing a little bit of recruiting too, trying to get some of these free agents to kind of look our way in terms of coming here. It was nice to see Ray out there with the guys too.
that was cool.
And
Seeing Ray and Roquan standing side by side.
they're the same size almost. I think Roquan's a little bit bigger in terms of height, but they're relatively built the same. And
doesn't that feel good that Roquan's going to be here for a long time? Like we don't have to worry about it. It's like he's here.
I'm really, really, really hoping that he extends this to the point where he's a Raven for life, to where he's here the next 8-9 years.
Oh, he will.
And
he will. He'll come down off that big contract, and he's not going to want to go.
Especially if we can get a ring in that contract. If we can get him a championship, that'd be cool.
Get a ring, man. God, I'm so envious of the fans. Oh yeah, we gotta predict the Super Bowl. Don't forget that. I want to get my pick.
That'll come in a couple of minutes. Let's kind of talk about Sunday night at 8:30.
Sunday night, 8:30.
The 30 for 30.
30 for 30. Oh, you want to preview what we're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We're on the topic of the Ravens right now.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward to the Bullies of Baltimore.
Yes. Been waiting for this for a long time.
I've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of the guys that were on that team over the last couple of years, and they have fond memories. That was the most intimidating and menacing defense to ever step foot on a football field.
Best defense ever. I don't care what no one says. I know there were some ones, Legion of Boom, 85 Bear. I understand. But this defense was something.
I'm always going to be biased towards them. I'm sorry. I try to remain objective as much as I possibly can, but
if we scored 10 points, it was a fucking blowout. Wasn't even close. You could relax. It was done. It was over. Like the Super Bowl, we knew in the second quarter it was 10-0, whatever the score was. It was over. It's done.
That defense didn't give up a touchdown in the Super Bowl. It was the special teams that gave it. It was and then we got it right back from Jermaine.
Yeah, Jermaine ran it right back.
That was the best defense to ever step foot on the field. That defensive line was 6 deep. You had Burnett, you had McCrary, you had Goose and Adams. You had
Adams was a beast, man.
You had Larry Webster behind both of those guys. Mm-hmm. You had OJ Bergantz coming off the edge behind Bolware and
Jamie Sharper.
You had Jamie Sharper. You had Peter Bolware that would play in space half the time, and then the other half of the time he's got his hand in the dirt, rushing the passer. You got. I mean, Jamie Sharper was just incredible as an outside linebacker. I was sad when he got drafted by the Texans in the expansion draft. Yeah, he was fantastic.
We lost two guys to the Texans. Who was it? It was someone else.
And Jermaine Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that secondary, you had Kim Herring and Rod Woodson and James Trapp and Starks and McAllister. Poindexter was back there, I think.
Herring, number 20.
Yeah. Kim Herring was back there.
Yeah.
Anthony Mitchell was back there.
Oh yeah, man. Don't forget Goose now, boy. Goose in the middle.
Oh, Goose, yeah.
Nasty. That dude was a nasty son of a bitch.
We had 900 pounds in the middle between Goose and Adams.
Yeah.
That's
when your starting running back on your guy's favorite team, if you're not a Ravens fan, got hurt or sick that week mysteriously, didn't want to play against that defense.
I've said this a couple of different times talking about this team, and I remember where Corey Dillon faked an injury or an illness to avoid playing us.
Oh, yeah.
That Super Bowl year, I believe.
Yes.
It was one of the last Super Bowl years. It was one of the last games of that season.
It was Super Bowl year.
Corey Dillon wanted no parts of us.
Yeah, he had the flu out of nowhere. Dude was fine.
All week long.
Yeah, that defense was nasty, man. They deserve this spotlight again. They deserve it. It's history. Whether you're a Ravens fan or not, come on, man. That defense. I know you got Legion of Boom and these other famous defenses, but come on. That defense was something.
Do you remember the tight end that backed up Shannon Sharp that year? Ben Coates.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was a little bit long in the tooth at that time too, and got himself a ring. Jamal and Priest were back there.
Had two superstars, didn't he? And no, Priest was a superstar.
Sam Gash and Femi. That was
Femi was like special teams, dude.
Yeah, he was a special teams, but he played running back and fullback, and he was a monster special teams player.
He was.
Quarterback.
His brother had long careers.
Dilfer and Banks were hard to sit through, and so was Travis Taylor and Brandon Stokely. I love Brandon Stokely. He caught the opening touchdown on Jason Sehorn.
I was really happy when he came back to finish his career here where it started. That was cool.
Him and Dallas
Clark. He had an okay year.
Him and Dallas Clark signed the same week.
That's right. I forgot we had Dallas Clark, man.
Yeah. Dallas Clark.
I forgot.
Him and Dallas Clark signed the same week.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep,
I forgot that.
Because Billy Badgerman went down, and I think he got hurt.
That's right. I forgot that. That's hilarious. I forgot.
Yeah.
And Dallas Clark had like a decent year, didn't he?
I think so. And we had the Santi Shenko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, Brandon came back and finished his career here. I mean, he went and played. I think he played in Indianapolis with Peyton, and I think he played in Denver.
A few rings, right? He got two. One with us, one with Indy.
Yeah, he finished his career with 2 rings, which was cool. Who else did we have on that Super Bowl team? Man, there was Travis Taylor, right? He was a rookie.
Yeah, he was a rookie. He was a rookie.
Was he?
No, it was his second year, I think. Jamal Lewis was the rookie.
Yeah, Jamal was a number 5
that year's pick.
And Travis Taylor was our 99 first-round pick, I think.
That's right, the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, he was a bust. But God, man, I thought he was it. I thought he was a Hall of Famer, dude.
Because not long after Travis Taylor, we drafted Mark Clayton in the first round, like 5 years later.
Yeah. Clayton had a decent career here.
He did.
We just didn't want to give him any money, but he wasn't a bad receiver. He
we don't want to give anybody money. If you're not an offensive lineman or a defensive back, we don't want to give you money.
We don't. Look at Torrey Smith. Everybody was saying, why wouldn't the Ravens keep him? You know, it ended up being the right decision because he was never the same.
Torrey Smith ended up being probably the greatest actor when it came to drawing pass interference I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Falling down, throwing his arms around in a crazy direction.
Yeah, I don't like him, dude.
I know. We don't got to go there.
No, I was going there for the playoff game, man, not jumping.
I know he alligator armed the ball, and you lost respect for it.
He didn't jump. He would have caught it.
Yeah, probably.
He just didn't want to take a hit, and it cost us a fucking playoff game. Despite the fact they were cheating, and then the NFL immediately changed the rule at the end of the year. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah. Before we move on from the 30 for 30 preview, it was really nice that they did a lot of the filming before Goose passed away.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
that's
nice
gonna
to
be
see
cool.
him. It's going to be cool to see him. You
Yeah,
know, R.I.P. to the big fellow. Uh, that's going to definitely draw out some of the emotions for a lot of people. But let's
yeah,
kind of move on to the Orioles again, man. We haven't really made a whole lot of noise this week. One of our
no,
potential pitching prospect trades that are pitching trades that we could have made. The Marlins ended up trading Pablo Lopez to the Minnesota Twins
really.
for some prospects and a couple major leaguers. So Pablo Lopez is out. So we're gonna have to do some scrounging around to get a pitcher in Baltimore.
Yeah. It was a boring off season for the Orioles. We did nothing. We
I
all
think
thought this was it. Mike said it's up from here. This is it. We're about to lock this shit down, get a big time pitcher, maybe another big bat in there. Everybody's all pumped up. Maybe a big time reliever. Man, fuck.
yeah, that was a little rough. That was a little rough.
Yeah, because it
The-
means we're still a year away, 2 years away. And
I
we all
think
thought,
next,
all right, we arrived. We just missed the playoffs
I think
by a hair.
24. I think 24 is our year. We got to have another. We can't just make it 22 seem like a fluke. We actually got to. I'm not saying we got to win 95 games, but if we can win around 88 games this year, maybe
Just because
87, just
be
we
happy.
got to we got to show free agents that we're getting there. That's the only thing right there. We got to show them that we're getting there. That we're within like something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And
that
everybody relax about the lease at Camden Yards. The Orioles released a statement, I think it was yesterday.
yeah
They said the reason we didn't sign it is because we want a long, 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 like a almost forever lease, almost like the Ravens do, um, signed.
yeah.
And we expect it to be
I think
done
they
by the
said
middle of the year.
I think they were targeting a 20-year lease.
Yeah. They want to do like the Ravens do, something crazy, 50-year leases or whatever they do.
Well, once they get the lease lockdown, I'm pretty sure they have a 1.2 billion dollar surplus that they were given by the state to make the area between Camden and M&T Bank into like a
Yeah, I've been saying that. He wants to invest around the stadium.
they want to put like something. I know they want to put a. I think they want to put a parking garage down there,
Mm.
and then they want to put like a walk that connects both stadiums with a bunch of like outdoor eating and bars and stuff like that. They kind of if anybody that's listening, and I know Josh, you'll probably look it up too. They want to kind of make it look like what the St. Louis Cardinals did outside their stadium, and
Okay.
it's like a real
Yeah.
nice area. So
He's been talking about that for a few years.
well, I know Steve took out his money. I think they each got 600 million for it, and I know Steve's been making upgrades to the stadium, the boards. I know he has
He's
upkeep
keeping it
on the
nice.
yeah. He's got upkeep on the grass and all that. I know that they've upgraded their suites. They're adding more suites to the field level. I don't know if you saw that in the news last
Man,
week.
I've been to a few games where I was able to sit in a suite, and that is awesome, man. You can see so good. You're like high enough with a perfect view, man. They're the perfect seats.
I had the chance back in 2019,
I've sat there about 4 times.
right before COVID hit. I went to the football game with Mark, and we were in the stadium, and his boss texted him and said, "Hey, come up to the suite elevator and I'll let you guys in." I've always like watched football games at the stadium. Like I'll slum it in the upper deck, whether it's rain, snow, heat, cold, it don't matter. Like I'll sit out in any element. But having the butlers bring you food and the drinks, being free, everything's like on the house. I was like, I don't want to watch a live football game any other way again ever in my entire life.
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
It was absolutely
Oriole
incredible.
games too.
Yeah. Uh, yes. So we hit the so how about your Terps, man? What you got for the Terps this week?
Yeah, let's get it going. Maryland Terps. I believe the next game is against I was just reading about it. Minnesota. Look, Maryland has not won on the road in the Big Ten, and they got 2 road games coming up. Like I said, they got Minnesota tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It looks like it's on the Big Ten Network, and then Michigan State following that. Michigan State always gives us a fit, man. They're always a solid team. But Maryland's kind of cocky right now, man. They're hot. They just beat Indiana. Indiana had a great offense, and we held them to 55 points.
Is
They
it
were just sick on defense.
Is it Indiana's basketball coach or is it Michigan State's basketball coach that's related to Harbaugh?
That's not. No, it's not Indiana. That's
Is that Michigan State?
no, Michigan State's what's his name? It is. Yeah. Yes. But he resigned last year, Matt.
Okay, I don't really
Yeah.
keep
It
up
was
with it.
Indiana. Yeah. He resigned last year, or he got fired, one or the other. He's somewhere else now. I don't know where he is. But Maryland's got to get a win on the road, man. They haven't won away in the Big Ten this season.
Do
It's
you
kind of
do,
weird.
do you think that we're still a bubble team, or do you think that we can make a strong
Right now,
run?
we're a bubble team, but we got to keep winning in the division. We got to stay above 500 in the Big Ten. If we stay above 500 in the Big Ten, maybe win a game in the Big Ten tournament, they're a shoe-in. But they're a bubble team. They don't have nothing's guaranteed. But look, man, I don't want to say I don't care what happens this year, but I really like Willard. I think he's a great coach. We haven't seen this at Maryland for a long time. He makes halftime adjustments. I mean, a few weeks ago, I forgot to mention last week, Maryland almost beat the number 2 team in the nation, Purdue. We lost by 3. We played right with them to the end, man, and almost had them. They're hot right now. Willard's a good coach. He adjusts. Guys like Scott and Reese play so much better under him than they did Turgeon. So the future's bright, man. He's got the number 12 recruiting class coming in next year, which is
And
exciting, man.
he's been recruiting Maryland heavy, like the high schools,
Yeah,
which is nice.
yeah.
If he can keep some of this homegrown talent, because I'm a firm believer that Maryland has some of the best high school basketball players in the entire country, and I had the fortunate pleasure of sitting through 4 years where I got to watch future NBA players, Dino Gregory, Henry Sims. I got to watch Malcolm Delaney and Dante Green at Towson Catholic. Those games they felt like college games. The atmosphere was so crazy. The student sections, and I want to see Willard keep the talent in house in his backyard.
He's a good coach, man. He's solid.
He's
I
been
loved
hitting
it. I
Baltimore
told you
heavy.
when we hired him, and I told you when we hired him, I was like, man, he's a good coach. He was one of the guys I wanted Maryland to pursue, and I wanted us to get a few years ago. I was praying we would let Turgeon go and go after a guy like him. He's a solid coach, man. And the thing I love about him, especially during, like, I always listen on the radio. I know that's old school, or sometimes on the app on my phone, his radio show with Holiday. And he's honest. He don't give you like the normal coach answers like, "Oh no, the guys are practicing hard and playing." Like he'll be like, "No, he sucked at practice yesterday, and it showed in the game. He wasn't focused." Like he's honest. He doesn't give the link. He's just an honest coach. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, you. It's a nice little change from the status quo, like you were saying.
Yeah, Turgeon, he was a great recruiter. I mean, this guy had Geno Stone and didn't get past the Sweet 16. This guy had some real Mellow Trimble. When there was a point, I know he fell off, and Mellow Trimble was one of the best basketball players in the world. People think he was going to be a first round, first overall pick. He kind of fell off after that. He had guys watching him like, what's his name for the Warriors, man? Steph Curry,
Yeah.
following him on Twitter. And he was on fire that year, and we didn't do much. Turgeon just could not coach at this level. I'm sorry. He couldn't adjust. He had good squads. It was just frustrating. He always had the number 12, number 11 recruiting class. He could recruit his ass off. Just could not coach. And I'm glad he walked away. I'm glad he's gone. And now we got a guy I feel like is going. Maryland basketball, I'm not saying we should be a Final Four team every year, but Maryland basketball should be good. The Xfinity Center should be rocking like it was against Indiana the other night. It should be like that every game, man. Like it used to be, like at Cold Field House. It should be rocking. It should be booming. Maryland should always be, They're not in the top 25, right outside the top 25. They should always be in the tournament. You know, it shouldn't be hard to recruit players here. It's a storied, team of a storied program. You got top of the line facilities. They turned Cole Fieldhouse into like a mega athletic center, man. It's like an athlete's dream in there. Training centers, doctors, trainers, weights, pools. It's ridiculous. It's for football and basketball. I think all teams can use it. Um, it's wild. It's wild. So Maryland should always be a good team, and that's what killed me all these years with Turgeon. Pretty much New Year 2 is when I lost faith in him, just because he never adjusted. He never, he could just never win, and he would get you in the tournament every couple of years, but you may win a game, but you're not going past the Sweet 16. You're not even getting to the Sweet 16. I think he got to the Sweet 16 once in his 6-7 years he was here.
I'm really happy that you are like the Maryland Terps guy on the show because I'm more of a,
It
I've
was
been more of a,
long-winded, bro. I was in the zone.
no, you're
I
good,
forgot
man. Hey,
I forgot I was on camera, man. I was just shooting shit.
I need that out of you. I need that out of you because I feel like when it comes to the Ravens, I get a little long winded sometimes. And
Hell yeah, you do.
fuck you, Josh.
I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
Yeah. Before we wrap the show up, man, let's kind of preview the Super Bowl just with our picks. I am so happy that the Bengals aren't in it. But now,
God, their case remains empty.
The
Hey,
case
you guys,
remains.
I think Ravens headquarters does tours. If you guys in right in the front lobby to the left, when you walk in Ravens Under Armour Performance Center, they're right there on the left. There's 2 beauties there. You guys can visit and see what they look like and what it feels like. Because your case is empty as a mug.
It's nice that they got eliminated, and then their douchebag running back is being indicted on gun charges. Hopefully,
pointed a firearm at a woman for what?
Yeah,
and then told her people like you should die and shit.
Yeah, Joe Mixon wants to be cocky and have all these crazy ass celebrations. Motherfucker, enjoy Joe. Yep. I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan this week.
Oh my God, no.
I want to see them win the Super Bowl.
For what?
Because I don't want to see Mahomes win another one. I am a hater.
Why?
If the Ravens can't win one, I don't want to see the AFC win one.
Dude, Philly fans, really? You want them getting another one?
Why not?
Bad enough they got the last one.
It's okay. They'll get 2. That's fine.
But Chiefs fans aren't dicks, really. Chiefs fans are okay.
Yes, they are. I know a couple cool Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Yeah, I don't think they're arrogant.
I more or less want the Philadelphia Eagles to win because Jason Kelce might be one of my favorite football personalities in the entire
league. He's cool. They got a good podcast.
They do. They got a fantastic podcast. And seeing Jason Kelce do the same touchdown dance as Miles Sanders last week, he's so much fun to watch, and he's a hell of a center. Any team would be lucky to have him. He's
funny looking because you think like he's fat,
and he's not.
Then when you see him, he's not. He's slim as a nail. It's wild. Like he just seems like he's fat, but he's not at all.
Give me your Super Bowl score.
I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go 27-17 Kansas City Chiefs.
Who's your MVP? Super Bowl MVP?
Patrick, man, that's easy. Mahomes.
My Super Bowl MVP is going to be Jalen Hurts. I think he throws for 3 touchdowns, runs for 1.
Elaborate. Why do you think the Eagles can score with the Chiefs? Elaborate that. No, I'm not letting you off.
Because the Chiefs don't have a good defense. They played the fucking Cincinnati Bengals shitty offensive line. They're going to have problems with this. They're not going to be. Chris Jones isn't going to be able to do to Lane Johnson what he did to whoever the fuck was playing.
They got some purple power. They got some purple power up in the middle, and they do give him some time. B. Williams is on the squad.
Oh my God, is he going to even suit up?
I wouldn't get bet on it.
So I got this being a high-scoring Super Bowl. I have Philadelphia
Nah.
winning 42-35.
Fuck
I think
no.
absolutely.
Have you seen Philly play this year?
I have, and their offense is electric
It's 2019 Ravens. And why weren't we in the Super Bowl?
because we had a fucking meltdown in the divisional round. But I digress. That'll do it for the show, folks. On
Shut it
Monday
down.
night, on Monday night, we will be back live for a 30 for 30 ESPN Baltimore Ravens Bullies of Baltimore review. We'll talk about
Yeah.
some of our favorite clips, and
What?
that's about it, man. We're gonna wrap this up, and Josh, go ahead and sign us off.
All right. Can't wait for the season to start again for football. But I'm excited about baseball, and we're about to shut it down and go to bed. I got work tomorrow.
Not me.
I'm